Hello, I'm Ashley and welcome to my space here. Today, for your relationship toolbox, I have a little stretch for you. It's great not only for your body, but also for your mind, for your nervous system. It's really just, it's super simple, excuse me. It's super simple, super easy to do, and it's also great to incorporate with your children, because like I said, this is a relationship toolbox, and one of the most important relationships we have is the one with our children. And today the word that I want you to keep in mind is the word study, because that's what we're going to be doing. And if you think about children, and I'm talking children from like newborn to ages 6, that's about the time our ego is being formed. You can think of our ego, because we're going to plant our feet firmly. I want you to stand today. So go ahead and, get yourself situated. I want you to get yourself some water, because as always, I'm going to incorporate that into this practice here, just because water is so important for our bodies. Remember, we're made up of like 70% water, so it's super important that we hydrate ourselves as a way to nourish ourselves and give ourselves lots of energy, to relax ourselves. Because one of the things I also want to talk about today is like inflammation in the body and generating heat in our body. So this is going to be a great way to recharge yourself. It's important to recharge. Just like a phone. Think about a phone. Those little platforms they have now where you can like lay your phone on it and it charges, or your tablet or whatever. Think of your yoga mat as that place for you. That's your body's little recharging station. So that's why I think it's great for children to have yoga mats or to have their own little spaces, even adults. It's a great place to just have a place where you can go and rest and recharge and let go. So that's what we're kind of going to do today. And I love it because the little tidbit that I'm going to share with you is what I like to call the hanged man. And if you follow me on Instagram, you definitely should. I'll leave the information below, but I do a Tarot Tuesday. And I've replaced my relationship readings with relationship toolboxes because I think it's just more important to take action and to do the things that really make us feel good, rather than just listening to things that we know are going to make us feel good, but like actually following through and taking the action step to make ourselves feel better, to calm our bodies, to calm our nervous systems, to calm our minds. And the Hanged Man is the card that I featured for Tarot Tuesday. So you can go ahead, like I said, follow me there if you'd like for more information, or to just visit me there. But anyway, what I'm getting at is we're going to go ahead and ground ourselves with our feet. Remember our word for the day, for the week. Actually, I want you to use this for the next week. The next week is study. Like I said, that's going to be because we're going to study our bodies. And like I was saying with children from ages 0 to 6, you can think of our mind as like, we're grounding to earth here. Our mind is like soil at that age. So it's very, think of like really fresh, beautiful new soil. If you think about it, just like imagine putting your hands through it. I love dirt. Dirt is one way to connect to earth. It's beautiful. But think of our minds. Our ego is being formed from that age, and our minds are like soil, like fresh soil. And what we plant in that soil will be very fruitful, depending on what we choose to plant, I should say. So if you're planting words of encouragement to your children, if you're planting body positive dialogue towards your children, and you have to remember that our children are studying us. That's why our word for today is study, for this week is study, because we need to study ourselves, because our children are studying us and they're studying their environment from the time they get here. Just think about it. They're in a very receptive, feminine energy, and they're not very active. They can't really talk. They can't really, they don't crawl. They don't, they can't communicate. All they're doing is observing. All they're doing is studying. All they're doing is downloading and processing. So it's like soil. Think of our children's minds as soil. You can even think of our minds as soil. But you think about the soil of the earth right now being very polluted by what we consume. And our minds are like dirt, and what we consume either pollutes that dirt or it, fertilizes it. So what we're really putting into our minds is really important. And when our minds, think of our minds like an app. Like you have 1,000 different tabs open on your computer, or you have 1,000 different apps running on your phone. So if you don't go through and click off all those apps, and you don't go through and click all those browser tabs that are open, they're running constantly. They're running our subconscious mind. And so this begins to wear down our energy. Like, think about it as a phone battery. The more apps you have open, the more it's going to drain your battery. It's the same thing with human. The more apps we have open in our mind, the more thoughts, the more energies we have that are focused somewhere else, and we don't close those tabs after we, let's say for work, you're carrying work with you. You don't leave work at work. When you come home, you take work with you, but what you have to do is close that tab, exit out of it. And you have to do this with your mind. So that's why it's really important. And this is what I'm going to show you, because this is this little move called the hanged man. That's what I call it, but it's really called a forward fold in yoga. But don't think about this as yoga. Think about it as stretching your body and stretching your mind. And what you're going to be doing is studying your body. How do you feel? What discomforts are coming up for you? What tabs are open for you in your mind? And then just letting them go, releasing them, shutting them down. So this is a great practice to do like at the beginning of the day, to make sure that you're like fresh and clean and ready to go, or even, it's even better at night. This is one of my favorite things to do at night, especially before bed. Or even if you're in a very stressful situation, or even if you're taking a 10-minute break at work, to just do this for 10 minutes, because that's probably about how long we're going to do it. And the position we're in could be very uncomfortable, or just very uncomfortable if you're not used to moving your body in that way. This is also a great tool for if you work on your feet all day, if you're standing all day. It'll help kind of give some relief to your lower back. Like I said, it's really great for the body and the mind. And it's important to study how we're feeling. So I do have a little, because what I'm going to share with you is that basically when I was saying all the phone and the apps are running in the background and it generates a lot of heat and it drains your battery, the same happens to our bodies as we begin to generate a lot of heat. When we have a lot going on in our minds, we begin to generate a lot of heat in our body. And this is taking a really huge toll on the nervous system. And when the nervous system is activated all the time and it's not getting any relief because we're not resting, we're not recharging our batteries, we're not allowing ourselves to sit with our bodies, maybe because of the things that we experience are really uncomfortable, maybe we're feeling a lot of deep emotions. And if we just leave those tabs open and we don't deal with those emotions, they begin to wear on our bodies, and we begin to get colds, and we begin to just feel run down and overworked and stressed out, and our muscles might be really sore. And when we're feeling that way, we don't do as good. We don't act as good, not just for other people, but we don't act in ways that are healthy for our bodies, because we're just trying to find that relief. We're just trying to find that next relief. We're just trying to find that next relief. When really we just need to be recharging our batteries so that we can, be our best self always. And I think that's really important to remember, is to be our best self always. And when we feel good, we do good, right? So imagine if we were going into class. We're going into class, and you know how we have to sit in class for 8 hours? I think that's way too long, excuse me, even just for 40 minutes sitting in class. So that's why I wanted to incorporate standing today, because I love just imagining and really so I want you to begin to bring your awareness to your body. So we can go ahead, and if you have some water, I always like to take a drink of water, especially talking a lot, but and imagine your water. You want to imagine your roots, some of our roots, a lot of our fears and our anxieties they're stemming from past pains, or past traumas, or past wounds, past heartbreaks, whatever it is for you, especially in regards to relationship, or past rejections. And these are kind of stored in our root chakra. So they're fears, especially if we saw this in childhood, or if we saw it with our parents, and what their relationship was like, then we can fear that this is going to happen again. So instead of being fearful and creating the habit of worry, which, like I was saying, when we worry, we begin to generate a lot of heat in our body, and we activate our nervous system, and we're on defense, we're on guard all the time. So when we're acting from that place, we're acting from a place of survival and defensiveness, and we're not truly being vulnerable and living from our heart space, because our heart space is closed off, because we're living more in our fears and our doubts and our worries. So what we want to do is kind of bring that energy up and open our heart center. So then this acts, like I've said this before, as a coolant, and this really begins to generate peace, and we begin to feel connection, and it's because we're connected to ourselves, and there's no need to be defensive or to react from those wounds, because we know what is being triggered isn't happening now, but it's just active in our nervous system. And so before lashing out, or before binge eating, because that's another thing I'm picking up on for some reason, because this is one of the things I love that has helped me with binge eating. So when you're a binge eater, do not shame yourself. You're gonna relapse. And it's important that when we relapse as binge eaters, we don't spiral into that shame spiral. You know, it's like you got to stop it before it gets going, otherwise you're going to continue to eat in order to not deal with the shame that you're feeling. So if you're ever feeling shame, one thing I've noticed is that it's like I don't feel worthy of feeling full sometimes, and so I've always shamed myself for having a full belly, when really it's something. That's why gratitude has been a great practice. And I just go into a forward fold, or what I'm calling the hanged man, and I allow myself to just empty myself out and just be with my body, because it's important to just come back to your body when you're shaming yourself for binge eating or for overeating. You know, instead of shaming yourself, come to your mat or come to your space and just be with your body and tell you, I love you, I'm sorry that I did that, I'll try better next time, instead of going into shame spirals and like beating yourself up. So that's just another message that's coming through. So let's go ahead and drink some water and imagine our roots are like crystalline, just like, because a lot of people's roots are like dark and deep and heavy, and what I want to do is help you lighten up. So go ahead and, you know, drink the water and imagine like just this beautiful crystalline river coming out of the base of your spine and into the earth. Like you're watering your roots. Like I said, we want to water our minds with peace and connection and love and gratitude. Joy. Those are the things that really, it's the intention behind the action. So come to these things and do these things to take care of yourself because you love your body, because you care for your body, not because you need to punish yourself. You know, they don't work out because you want to punish yourself because you ate too many chips the night before. You know, work out because it makes your body feel good. That's what we're doing, raising our vibration. So go ahead and drink that water now after I said that for the third time. It's really about being present and connecting to your body, connecting to what you're consuming, and everything that we're consuming is like its own energy, and its own energy that has its own information that we're downloading. So this is relevant for relationships and people as well. When we come into contact with people, I don't care if it's your intimate partner that you just had sex with, or if it's the cashier at Walmart that you exchanged energy with, you know, it doesn't matter. You have to be able to clear your energy and be able to stay in your own energy instead of absorbing other people's energy and downloading information from them. So it's really about being present and being conscious and being aware of what you're consuming. And that doesn't even just include people in relationships. It's also what are you consuming on the news, on the TV? What are you consuming through the food you're eating? Really getting present enough to receive the transmission from the energies that you're exchanging with is really important. But not a lot of us are taught this, so I'm teaching you now. So like I said, we're going to go ahead and just study ourselves. I did want to share this book because it's a great resource. It's a great tool. It was one of my favorite things that helped me really connect with my body and realize that a lot of the times I was living in the past, whereas like in my mind I was like generating what I did want, but in my body I was still living in the past because I still had like my nervous system was still being affected by trauma, because we store trauma in the body. So this is the book called, it's kind of bright so you can't really see, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza, which I totally mentioned him in my reading last week. If you didn't check that out, you can follow him on Instagram as well, and he's just brilliant, and he's saving so many lives, he's changing so many lives, and this book literally changed my life. And it's, you know, it says how to lose your mind and create a new one, and it's brilliant. I just love the way he incorporates science. So if this spiritual stuff is like too woo-hoo for you, and it's too like spiritually, and it's just like too not practical or logical enough for you, I highly recommend his work. Just because he's a scientist and he's like very practical in his approach. He's very, very like scientific, and that's why I love science so much, is because it's proving so much about the spiritual stuff and the energetic stuff that we're doing. And it's the intention, which is the very feminine, you know, intention is like setting an intention. It's like a spell if you think of like witches and stuff like that, but we're coming to a more scientific explanation for it, and it's more of our feminine energy, and it's working with our conscious mind and coming out of our subconscious and survival state. And that's what this practice and this little move really helps you do. And the reason I call it the hangman is because when I'm in this position, I really begin to see things from a different perspective. So whenever I'm feeling any doubt, or whenever I'm feeling any worry, And I am so in tune to my body now that when I begin to worry, or if I'm having a lot of self-doubt, or if I'm feeling anxious, I'll really feel it in my lower back. So I've always struggled with lower back pain, but I've recognized that this comes from like energy that I'm storing in my root chakra. So in order to get that energy up and flowing through our other chakras, because if we just get stuck down in these lower base chakras, then we can experience a lot of like fear. We have to connect up to the heart chakra. And then once we connect up to the heart chakra and the solar plexus chakra, then we begin to like open up our higher chakras, and we'll be able to like tap in more to like energies of compassion, energies of like love and unity and like equality, and we're able to tap into more of those energies, and we begin to see everything as a whole. We begin to see everything as a reflection of us. So when we're feeling very anxious, or we're feeling very doubtful, or we're not feeling good enough, we'll begin to project that onto our environment, and we'll only see the lack. We'll only see the lack in our relationships, in our children, in our spouses, in our coworkers. We'll only see what's missing. So it's really important to really take this time, because doing these things for yourself, like the tool I'm going to be giving you, really begins to fill your cup. And then you feel really full and you feel really good. And then, like I said, we're able to act good. We're able to do good. And not only that, we're able to see the good in other people. Because when we're only picking out our flaws, when we're only picking out our darkness, when we're only picking out the things that we don't like about ourselves, our weaknesses, our mistakes, that's what we're going to see in other people. And so the one way to not see that in other people is to really come back to ourselves and really begin to plant those seeds. Like I said in the beginning, think of your mind as soil, brand new soil. Think about it, we're coming into spring. What do you want to plant in your mind? And keeping your mind focused on that. Your focused thought is your power. So if your subconscious mind is running, you're just running on habit, you're running on like autopilot, kind of. And so when you come into your conscious mind, you're making decisions from the present moment, and you're making decisions more aligned with love rather than aligned with fear. So I want to come out of that fear state, because we're not designed, we don't have to survive like that anymore, even though those beliefs can be deeply ingrained from our ancestors. And what we're really learning to do is to break through those and free ourselves. We want to free ourselves. This is great because we're going to be working with the mind. I work with unicorns. If you don't know that, that's why it's great to incorporate your children, because it's really great for them. Imagine they come home from school, they've spent all day with people, absorbing so much energy. Their minds are like sponges, and they can get really tired. So it's really important for them, and they can get overloaded and overstimulated, especially with the day and age and children being so connected to like the media, social media, phones, tablets. They're absorbing. We don't just absorb energy like in person. We absorb energy through social media. So every time you're scrolling on Facebook and you're on somebody's page, you're picking up their energy. So we're storing that energy. So this is a great tool to practice at night, to allow your minds to shut down, to allow yourself to clear your energy, and to really connect with your body. And then you feel really grounded right before you go to sleep, and you just sleep a lot easier. And then when you wake up, you feel more refreshed. So you can get a little nap in even on the yoga mat. So it's just a great practice to like help you give some relief to your nervous system, basically. It's really great for your nervous system. And if for anybody that knows anything about like the things that are going on with children, a lot of them are experiencing PTSD to the same level of like returning veterans. And I think that's huge. I think that's massive. And I'm one of those children that had experienced like some form of like trauma or PTSD, where I was like, when you experience that, you create like what is called hypervigilance, which means your nervous system is always on guard and you don't allow yourself to relax. This can create like itchiness, rashes, like it can really create a lot of discomfort in your body. It can cause a lot of neck pain. It can cause a lot of tension in your muscles because you're not relaxing. So it's a great way to just relax, and to, when we're think about, like I said, our word is study. So if we're going to school and our minds are really busy and our nervous systems are always on guard, we're kind of closing off, and we're creating this shell, and we're not actually retaining the information and the knowledge we're learning at school, because our brains are somewhere else, So, and we're not connected to our bodies, because being in our bodies feels unsafe, or maybe being in our bodies to this point is so uncomfortable because we have so many aches and pains that we're not tending to. And when we have those aches and pains, they're really signalers to your body to say, hey, hello, something's going on with me. Can you tend to me? Can you study me? Can you try to figure out what's going on and try to help me? So it's really important to do that for our bodies and to really get in tune with them and hear them and listen to them, just like we should to our children, right? And what's important to remember, I don't care if you're coming to this channel and you're 58 years old, if you're 42, if you're 33, if you're 26, if you're 18, if you're 12, whatever. You are a child, and you will forever be a child of God. So it's really important to see yourself as a child, and when we can see ourselves as children, we take really good care of ourselves. So let's go ahead and just get started with the exercise then, because it's not going to be too long. I'm going to set a timer, I think. I might kind of pop up just because my microphone doesn't get, it doesn't pick up when I'm bent over. Because this is a great practice for gratitude as well. You're just going to like imagine releasing your mind into the earth. We're just going to empty our minds. We can imagine like a trap door that comes open at the top of our head. And we're just going to let it go. Let it go. You know, from Frozen. Okay, we're just going to be here for 10 minutes. And like I said, if you aren't used to this and your body's not used to moving in this way, or if it's not used to being bent over for this long, then it's probably going to be a little uncomfortable. But the whole purpose of like yoga or like stretching is to really move beyond the pain, to transcend the pain and see that you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are the spirit, you are the soul. And what we do is we're going to activate our breath, because by connecting to our breath, this really releases any like negativity. It really releases, it's really medicine. Our breath is medicine. And so what you're going to do is breathe into the pain. So if you feel any discomfort, any pain, just breathe into it. Return to your breath always. And by returning to your breath, it brings you back to the present moment, right? And that's the whole purpose. So it's not about, life isn't about getting somewhere. You know, we think that if we lighten up, if we slow down, if you come to this place and you take your time to do this, and you might feel a little foolish because you've never done these things before, you know? But these aren't a waste of time. You know, we tend to think that if we're not constantly pushing, or we're not constantly doing, that we're not like, because we tend to believe that our worth and our value comes from what we produce, but really, life isn't about getting anywhere or attaining anything. It's about being here now, about being present. And then you know, you're not missing anything. You're just right where you're meant to be. You're always right where you're meant to be. That's very important to remember. Because a lot of us feel trapped and we're like, well, I have to be somewhere else, and I should be this far along, and I should have this much money, and I should have this kind of promotion, and I should be here, and I should be there. And it's just like, who cares? Just be here now. Just chill. Take a chill pill. I know that's really hard for some people, but okay. So you're just gonna stand like this, and you're gonna want to. I'll just stand this way for now, so that maybe you can hear me better. But feet connected to the earth. We're bringing our presence to our body now. Kind of connecting to our toes. You don't want your toes gripping into the earth. We're not like clawing on for dear life. This is where we begin to notice, you know, where can we relax in different parts of our body? Where are we holding tension in different parts of our body? So connect to your feet, connect to the ground. How are your feet feeling against the ground? Are you like on a hardwood floor? Are you on cushiony carpet? Are you outside in the grass? Whatever it is, just bring your awareness to your feet. And we want to bring our awareness up into our hips. We're going to want to stand up straight. Because a lot of us, like I said, being on social media, being on our phones, being at our work computers, we can get a little hunched over. And this takes a toll on our posture. And in order to receive divine, it's like energy. We have an energy field, like the chakras go all the way up our system. So from our tail, like our tailbone, all the way to the crown of our head. And so what we want to do is really align those energies straight up and down. Whereas like, you know, sometimes we're like hunched or we're carrying our weight. You know, you want to begin to stand up straight and create a very straight, line of focus. And our energy is like right here, all the way to the top. We're just going to breathe into it, and we're going to want to lift ourselves up. So kind of try to lift yourself up from your like your pelvis. Kind of shake your pelvis here if you want. I am picking up on Elvis. He's one of my ascended masters, and he's just, you know, if you work with music, or, you know, you like to dance, or, you know, he was like, you know, the hip shaker. So shake those hips. Don't be afraid to move them a little. Just kind of gets the energy up and flowing. Just fun little movement. And you can kind of think of our energy, it moves, like our masculine and our feminine energies are kind of like moving, like within each other. Think of like the infinity symbol, never ending. So give it a little circle twist there. You can like kind of exaggerate as much as you want, whatever is comfortable for you. This really helps the hips, because we're going to be bending at the hips. We're not going to be bending at the back, but we're going to be bending at the hips. And you're going to want to be like hip width apart, nothing too, I mean, you can get really close if you want. It depends on how you're feeling. Like I said, I am going to bend over and show you, but I might come back up, but I want you to just stay here and just listen to my voice, and just keep yourself in this position. And I'm totally going to restart my timer here. Okay, so we're going to begin now. Feet firmly planted on the ground, and we're going to try to think like breathing up. So inhale and kind of pull yourself up, and then we're going to pull up and over. We're going to pull up and over at our hips, and we're going to bring our hips down, kind of stick your butt out. You can bend your knees as generously as you need. So don't try to get your legs super straight if that's too painful, like in your hamstrings or even in your calves or your feet, or your hips or your lower back, then that's fine. Just go ahead and bend your knees as much as you can. And you can go ahead and lock your fingers behind your back and kind of give yourself a little pull up. Doesn't matter how far you can go, just try to get a little stretch in your arms and your shoulders. And you kind of want to create like a flat back here. So like I was saying with the energy, and we want it to be straight. You want to keep your head kind of straight. Don't let your head just hang. Engage. We want to engage our bodies here. It's so important to stay engaged in your body, especially if you're driving, to stay engaged in your body. Activate those abs. Pull your, and make sure from the tail to the crown is created like a straight line of energy. So that's what it's really about, is working with the energy body. And then you can take a deep breath in here, and we're just going to fold. And allow your arms to relax. Allow your arms to come to the earth. If they don't touch the earth, that's fine. Just let them kind of hang. Because like I said, this is called the hanged man, right? And you want to look kind of in between your legs. So go ahead and fold. And stay bent over. I'm going to lift up, and you're just going to listen for your breath. Listen to your breath. How are you feeling? Study your body. Where are you feeling any aches and pains? And really begin to deepen your breath. So inhale. Exhale. There's no need to hold it or anything. Just deepen it. Like I said, don't watch me. Stay bent over. I'm just doing this for vocal purposes. If you're feeling any discomfort, any pains, just breathe into it. We're going to be here for just a few minutes, so allow yourself to relax into this position. You can maybe like bend your knees a little bit, kind of move side to side. Whatever feels good for you. You're just here to stretch your body. You're just here to connect with your body. Don't worry about what it looks like. How are you feeling? Study how you are feeling. If your mind is going to like what you're going to eat for dinner later, or all the tasks you have to do later, let them go. This is where you can begin to imagine the trapdoor opening from your mind, top of your crown, and you can begin to shake it. So just move your head gently, like you're saying yes. Like you're nodding your head yes, but your neck is released and relaxed, and it's just kind of hanging there. Allow it to shake yes. Continue to focus on your breath and shake your head yes. Really want to keep your shoulders relaxed. No clenching anywhere. Try to check in with your feet. Make sure you're not clenching into the earth. Notice where you're just carrying any tension, or if you feel kind of tight in the face. Begin to relax your jaw. Relax your forehead. Just continue to gently shake your head yes. empty out all those busy thoughts, all that negativity, all that self-doubt, just letting it go into the earth. You can imagine even as like little birds flying out of your mind. Whatever you like to imagine, even if you can't get to the imagine part yet, that's okay. Just go ahead, just being here and doing this for your body is all you need. Your body will thank you. Okay, and now you can begin to, instead of shaking your head yes, now we're going to move to shaking your head no. So we're still bent over, still relaxed in the shoulders, still relaxed in the neck, relaxed in the face and the jaw. We're just here and we're going to shake our head no now. Okay, and then you can begin to kind of like shake your shoulders a little bit while you're still bent over. While you're still in this position of the hanged man. Just go ahead and kind of shake it out, kind of let your arms kind of just jiggle a lot. It doesn't need to be exaggerated, it doesn't need to be dramatic, just kind of wiggle it out. Shake out your mind, empty out your mind. Imagine like the apps closing, like imagine all the thoughts in your mind and just going through. Like maybe you went to the store earlier, or maybe you were at school, or maybe you hung out with a friend, or maybe you were on your phone, or maybe you were doing something else, maybe you were studying. But what we want to do is just begin to close those apps. Close them, you can just imagine them in your mind and then just kind of like you close them on your phone, honestly. Or by closing like a browser tab. And with you're going to continue to focus on your breath. You should always come back to your breath. When you're exhaling, try to imagine you're able to fold into the position even deeper. So with each exhale, you're able to relax and soften, especially in the hip area. And what's really important is if you feel any emotions during this routine or anything associated with the hips, is we store a lot of emotions in our hips, like on a cellular level. So when we're really working with the hips, when we're moving our hips, or we're bending at the hips, it can sometimes bring up a lot of emotions. If it does, let yourself be there. If you're in the hangman position and you just start crying, allow yourself to let it go. You're just letting it all go here. This is your safe place. This is your place to unwind and relax and to let yourself be. So we're still in the bent over position. We're still focusing on your breath, but on your next inhale, I'm going to have you breathe in and halfway lift. We're creating that length in the spine all the way up to the head. So engage your neck so that you're bent over at the hips, but you still have this long, nice, straight energy. And then exhale and fold. Okay, we're going to inhale again. So inhale and halfway lift your body using your abs. Try to engage your abs. Whatever, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just halfway lift yourself up, keeping your arms loose, but don't try to keep your shoulders away from your neck. You don't want to be clenching your shoulders into your neck. Keeping your neck nice and straight. And exhale to release. Do that one more time. So inhale, halfway lift, straightening the spine, straightening the neck, letting the arms hang, and exhale to let it all go. Shake the head a few more times. You can get a little, like, begin to move your knees a little. Might hear some cracking, some popping. Okay, and from here, our feet are firmly planted on the ground. We're really connected to our body by this time. We're connected to our breath. We're going to inhale, and slowly you're going to tuck your chin and begin to roll up, grounding through your feet. So you're really anchored to your feet, connecting to the base of your feet. Lifting yourself all the way back up until your hips are nice and aligned and your shoulders kind of come back. But your shoulders are still relaxed, but you want to engage them. So you're holding yourself up nice and straight with your core. Your arms are kind of out. This is called traditionally in yoga like mountain pose. So you can kind of just stand here. I love this pose. This is where we want to study ourselves as well. So we studied ourselves in the hanged man position, studied our aches and pains, studied our thoughts, studied our feelings and emotions. And now we're going to just, we're going to study how we're feeling here. Focus on your breath. Are you feeling relaxed? Feeling regenerated? Are you feeling at peace and calm, relaxed? Breathe in the nose and exhale out the mouth. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale through the nose. You want to make sure that your breath is like audible, so you can hear your breath. 1 more time, in through the nose. Really let that last exhale go deeper and deeper and deeper. All the way into your toes. And to waken up your toes, you can wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. And we're going to take a deep breath in and we're just going to pull it over our head. So you can imagine like rainbows. I like to imagine rainbows here, just like we're going to like shield our energy. So we cleansed our energy, we're feeling really good, and now we're going to create like a little shield, our own little protection. And I like to use rainbows because I work with the archangels and they're the color of the rainbows. Our chakras are the color of the rainbows. So I create this rainbow shield by just bending at the knees a little bit and swooping up. Breathing in a nice deep breath all the way till your fingers touch at the top. Reach, 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 reach. Exhale, you can bring your hands to heart. Take a few minutes here, or a few seconds here, and then we're going to go back again. We're going to create another shield, another rainbow shield. Bending at the knees, bringing the arms through, and reaching, reaching, reaching. Big deep breath in. Hold. And bring your rainbow back out and down. Exhaling with your release of your hands. So again, bending at the knees. Rainbow protection. Breathing in. Holding. Painting our space with rainbows. Protecting our energy with rainbows. Let's do 1 more. Inhale. And hold. And this time we'll come back to the heart center. So we're grounded through our feet. You can bend your knees a little bit. I'm really honestly bad about locking my knees. I lock my knees a lot, but you want a little bit of a bend. So it's okay to bend your knees a little bit. Just going to be here at the heart space. Notice if you feel your heartbeat beating on your thumbs. That's kind of where you want, is your thumbs right on your chest. Kind of make sure your fingers are kind of separated and gently placed together. You're just creating energy here. You can feel if your heart feels open. You might feel some twinges if you have like a little bit of if you're doing some heart healing and you're feeling a little sad, you're feeling a little depressed, you're doing a lot of emotional healing, you're feeling lonely or disconnected, then you might feel some twinges or some pains here in your heart chakra. That's totally normal, it's okay. Or if you feel sad or whatever you're feeling is perfectly okay. Continue to breathe here. So you can definitely close your eyes. How's your body feeling? Study your body, check in with your body. Hopefully your mind is clear by now. If not, that's okay too. This is a practice. You can definitely return to this practice at any time if you want to do it with me, or if you want to just do it anywhere, anytime. Like I'm saying, it's great for after bed, or to create your little rainbow shield in the morning, right when you get up, and just set the intention that you're protected throughout the day, that the negativity can't get you down or can't bring you down, and really just staying in your vortex, staying in your own little tornado, staying in your own energy. And this will protect you from, especially if you suffer from mental health or anxiety or anything like that. So, just we'll take one more deep breath in, and you want to kind of lift your heart center. So, kind of look up if you want, raise your chin. And exhale and bow to your heart. Thank you for being here. I hope this was helpful. I hope it was healing for you. I'm sending you so much love and so much healing energy. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a wonderful day.